Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. We're taking a break from a lot of the horrible stuff that we normally do, horrible in terms of scary stuff, to play something a little bit based on the theme. It's a little bit more cutesy than I normally go for, but it's definitely got a lot of mechanics I engage with very well. We're playing Disney Animated by Funko Games. Our goal in this game is to get some of the most iconic films in the Disney world made with the villains harassing us at every turn. So there are 5 movies in the game to start with if you've seen my unboxing. We've got Fantasia, 101 Dalmatians, and Alice in Wonderland, in addition to the 2 we're playing with here. We're playing Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs on this side of the board. And we've got Aladdin, a little bit more front and center. So Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, will bring the board up for a second, so we can share the special characters here. It'll help if I flip on over the camera light. There we go. So you can see the spaces on the background to put out. If we cover those up, we get the effect. These give us more magic tokens. This gives us sound at whatever level it's at. That'll give us ink and paint at whatever level it's at. For Snow White, we've got the Prince, that we need a red and blue paint to place him down after everything else goes down. We can remove a Calamity card. We can do that the first time for free, but the second time we need a light bulb to do that. Then we've got the Forest Friends, which take yellow and green paint. Choose any player to do an action at a value of 1 takes a flag. Snow White takes a heart and a yellow and a blue to put down. Choose another player. You each take a Seven Dwarfs token. The Seven Dwarfs tokens go out through the sound action, which is unique to each movie. In this case, Snow White will give out X of these 7 dwarf tokens, where X is the level sound is at. And whenever a player does an action, they can return any number of them to increase the value of that action by 1 for each token returned. And yes, that can be used to go above 5, so we will want to keep an eye on that. As for our other movie that we're playing as Aladdin. We can get an ink and paint and an animation there as well. 2 magic tokens. Our characters here are Abu, taking red and purple. We need a camera to swap the places of any 2 action tiles. Then Aladdin, needing a light bulb and purple and white paint. Choose any player to take any animation card from the discard pile. Then Jasmine for a blue and a black. Flag, choose another player. You each draw 2 animation cards, then discard 1. Aladdin's special sound action is choose any player to take a magic token, then place the genie token above the X space on the studio board where X is where sound is at. Whenever another player selects the action tile at the genie's token space, they may return the genie token. If they do, you and that player each take animation 3, background 2, or ink and paint 2. And then the first villain harassing us is the Queen. We advance the deadline and check hand limit. Calamity effect is if collectively discard 2 animation cards at random. If they match, advance the deadline, and if we can't complete it, we advance the deadline. Then we've got our first set of calamities out. First up we've got a Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs that we can't get rid of, along with an Aladdin one that we need a heart to get rid of. I think we've got exactly... Okay, Aladdin's actually got that one covered, so we're fine there. But we are all set, so that'll be Snow White's first turn. And what does Snow White want to do here? I think Snow White is going to take... She's going to take magic, and there's always an option, too, to take a magic token instead of the action. We're going to dump the magic token to do any action at level 5. I think we're going to do background at level 5. Start getting some of these backgrounds out. I'm going to put this token down here, which will give me the magic token right back. Then we'll go to... and 3, 4, 5. So what I'm doing here is I'm filling in the background. And because I put a 1 over, I covered a magic token, that's how I got the magic token back from that. So these will move down. We've got no way to deal with the magic with the heart token. So that'll be it for Snow White's turn. We're over to Aladdin. What does Aladdin want to do here? Aladdin is going to do Sound at level 4. He'll choose Snow White to get the magic token back. I'm actually going to bring these over here. So Snow White will get the magic token back. Then the genie will go out at magic level at level 4. Then everything will slide down. So we've got another back. So we've got background at level 4. And then we do have a heart that we can use to get rid of one of these calamities. Unfortunately, we are getting hit by one, so we'll advance the deadline, and then we've got to collectively discard 2 cards at random. Each one of them will give up 1 card. So I'll have Aladdin discard first since I'm right here. We'll discard that one, and then Snow White. We'll just give these animation cards a quick shuffle. And we'll discard that one. We'll see Snow White's discarding a focus, so is Aladdin. So that means we will advance the deadline. And then we'll cycle down and take our first look at Aladdin's villain, Jafar. His calamity effect is collectively discard 1 magic token. That calamity goes away and we get 2 new calamities out. We need a red paint for that Aladdin calamity and a grit. Actually, I believe that's grit for that calamity for Snow White and the 7 Dwarves. Nothing we've got in hand right now. So, I think Snow White... let's see. If we take Ink and Paint 2, we can get a red token. So I think Snow White is going to take background at level 4. She will return the genie when the player selects the action tile. So each player can take animation 3, ink and background 2, or ink and paint 2. I'll have Snow White take ink and paint first. She'll take ink and paint level 2. Everything will slide down. Aladdin will also take ink and paint level 2. He will get a red and a white. I'm mostly grabbing that red paint so Aladdin can deal with... So Aladdin can deal... Let me find my laser pointer, because I normally keep one in here. So Aladdin can deal with this calamity up here. And then that's it for the special actions. So we're back to background level 4 for Snow White. Sound right now is level 1, so I don't want to cover that right now. Ink and Paint level 3 would let me put the Forest Friends out now. Question is, do I want to put them out now? I'm at background level 4. So what do I want to do with this? If I cover that, I would get Ink and Paint at level 3. Sound is level 1, so that's not that appealing. I think I'm just going to work on putting out background toward getting the prince out, although I'll eventually need red paint for that. And I'll put that background down there. These aren't going to sit in quite correctly, so that's it there. Snow White's got no way to deal with either of the calamities, so we're over to Aladdin. Aladdin is going to take animation at level 5, which will let him draw 3 animation cards. Maybe we'll get the grit we need. We do get the grit we need, so we'll use that. Actually, we'll slide all of these down. Then we're using the grit to get rid of this calamity. Then we'll discard a red paint to get rid of this other Calamity. And we will be done. So we'll advance the deadline. Jafar's Calamity doesn't trigger, which means we're back to the Queen again. And we get 2 new Calamities. We've got an Aladdin one that we can't remove, and we need a focus for that one. So we're over to Snow White. Do we have a focus in hand right now? Yikes, we do not yet, as Dave's Tabletop Gaming is first to join us here as we're trying to make these movies. Well, that's at least moderately problematic. So I think I will have Snow White. You really enjoy this game. So do I, surprisingly. And normally, and I mentioned this at the top, but I don't normally go for cutesy games. But I think this one's got enough stuff kind of hiding under the surface of it that I really do enjoy how thinky it can be. I'm going to go for ink and paint at level 5. I think we're just going to start setting it up. So we'll take a red at 1. We'll take yellow at 1 as well. I'll take purple at 1. Actually, she doesn't need purple. Does she need... well... hold up. Oh, I'm using that as a reference board. Snow White actually will need purple when she's looking to put the Queen down, but she doesn't need it now. I guess I will... we'll take wild for... we'll take a wild for 2, and she does need... do I just let the 1 float away? Yeah, I think I'll just let the 1 float away. And everything will cycle down. And I think we're about to get hammered on these Calamities. This is going to be a huge problem. As for Aladdin... yikes. We're going to go for... we're going to go for sound. Oh. Yeah, we're going to get hit hard because we're not going to be able to deal with this, with the Queen's Calamity this time. I think we just do background level 3. I think we'll just do background level 3. I'm going to put out... I'm going to put out his background, put out background covering animation. That's currently at level 2. So I will draw a card and pray I can draw a focus, which I cannot do, to my lack of surprise, unfortunately. So those will move down, and then we are back to the Queen's turn. We're gonna have to give up 1 card apiece again, twice. So we basically have to hope we duck. We have to hope we duck pairs. Unfortunately, that is going to shred Snow White's hand. So we'll discard that, and we'll do that since I've shuffled both of these. And then this will be easy. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to do inside cards first. Let's see if I can get my hairy arm out of the way. Actually, Laser Pointer Phoenix. We'll do inside cards first, and then outside cards second. So the inside cards, we've got a heart, and we've got a teamwork, so we duck a pair there. Then we've got an inspiration, and another inspiration. We don't duck that pair. So both of those go away. And we advance the deadline up to 6. We'll cycle back to Jafar, and we'll get 2 new Calamities. Take the action at level 2, and I'm going to cuss and swear. Actually, I'm not going to do too much cussing and swearing. The card actually fell behind the table, but it landed on the curtain. And we need a green paint. So that's over to Snow White, who, since she is jazz hands right now, she's going to take animation level 3. Or is she going to do animation level 3? Because we do need ink and paint level 2. Actually, yeah, if we do ink and paint level 2, Snow White can get rid of both of those right now. And that'll leave Aladdin free to take something stronger. So because we took ink and paint at level 2, this Calamity goes Sayonara, and then Snow White is going to toss in a green paint to make that one go away. So we'll place that there, and then that is the end of Snow White's turn. Coming over to Aladdin, he is going to do what now? Good question. What is he going to do? He's going to do sound at level 4. He'll take a magic token and then put the genie out here. And we'll cycle everything down. And that'll be it for Aladdin's turn. We have no calamities to deal with. So Jafar will cycle and we'll go back to the Queen once again. We need a grit and a level 2 action. So we're back over to Snow White's turn. Right now, that's ink and paint at level 2. But I think Snow White's going to take magic, and she's going to take it at level 5. She'll take that as animation so I can refill her hand. 1, 2, 3. And we get nothing that will help out with either of those calamities. So yeah, we're going to get rocked again here coming up momentarily. Unless Aladdin takes essentially... we're going to take animation at level 5. So I can try to get at least a grit so I can deal with one of these calamities. 1, 2, 3, which I will find 2 of those. One of those will make that one go away if I can ever get my fingernails under it. Then everything will cycle down. And we've got one calamity that we have to deal with. Discard 2 cards at random. Nobody's near hand size, 4 cards. Aladdin's got a variety, so I think he's just gonna take it and get domed. And he's gonna take it here. Because we know we can't discard a pair anyway. We advance the deadline up to 7. This is not going well. Okay, we'll take these 2. Heart and teamwork, so we don't have any pairs to worry about there. Then we'll get that gone. And we'll move to Jafar once again. And we'll shuffle these calamities. The way this is going, we're already halfway up the deadline track, and we're not even 20 minutes into this game. This is not going to be pretty, most likely. Let's see. So yeah, we're back to Jafar again, which means we've got magic tokens to worry about. We need a heart and a focus, and I think Snow White has got at least... Actually, Aladdin's got the focus. Snow White, I thought I saw a heart in my hand. Yep. So Snow White can get rid of all of it. So... Actually, she might be able to get rid of... She might be able to get rid of both of them without needing to use cards. Or without needing to use any of her animation cards. I think the way she's going to do that is she's going to take background at level 5. So background at level 5, I could potentially put out... Actually, we might only need 1 card. So yeah, we're going to cover this one spot, a single spot, which is going to let her take sound at level 3. Her sound is to give out X7 dwarf tokens. I'm going to have her take 1 and give 2 to Aladdin. I will also go ahead, discard a red and a blue paint to put out the prince, which for free, I can remove a Calamity card. So I will have Snow White get rid of this Focus Calamity. Then I've still got 4 more still got 4 more levels of background I can put out. Ink and Paint right now is level 4. Well, she's got everything she needs to place down both of her characters. So, actually, she's got both the wilds right now. I kind of want to start cycling those back in. So, I'll put down the 2 spot that'll let her put down the 2 spot over the middle, which will then let me spend a wild and a yellow to put down the Forest Friends. And then I can choose any player to do any action at a value of 1. I will choose... I'm going to choose any action at a value of 1. I'm actually going to choose Aladdin. He'll do Ink and Paint, grab a purple. And then for 2 more, I'll go ahead and put down the last 2 spots. So Snow White needs to get background back to level 4, so she can put down her last piece of background. She's got enough paint to put her main character down. And then, as everything slides down, she will also discard a heart to get rid of this other Calamity. So now we have nothing to worry about on the Calamity front. So a very good turn by Snow White. Coming over to Aladdin, now that he's got a free hand, let's see, he needs a lot of purple. He's going to take Ink and Paint level 5. We're going to grab this red for 1, a black for 1, blue for 2, and what does he need for his movie? He doesn't need any green. So I'm just going to end up letting that last 2 points of paint float away. Everything will cycle down. And then we're back to the villains. So we advanced the deadline, but we don't have anything happening there. So we're back to the Queen again, and we need 2 new Calamities. Action at level 2, and can't remove. Fantastic. Let's see, what does Snow White want to do? Ink and Paint right now is level 1. I could theoretically take Magic and finish her movie. We don't have the card. I theoretically could take the card, take Magic at level 4 and finish the background. Select the action tile at the Genie space. You and that player may each take an animation 3, background 2, or Ink and Paint 2. Yeah, I don't really want to... the thing is, I don't really want to use... Magic at level 4. The problem is I don't want to use Ink and Paint at level 1 right now. Because that's what I would get if I cover up the last of Snow White's background. So I think I will take animation at level 3, and I'll draw 2 cards. Find mostly garbage. Do we have anything that we can use? Actually, we do. We have an inspiration that I'll discard to the Prince. Once I slide these down, I'll discard that to the Prince so we can get rid of the take a level 2 action. Once again, cussing and swearing that I can't get a fingernail down under it. Over to Aladdin next. He is going to take a He's going to take magic, I think. And he's going to take it at level 6, so we'll return the 2 7 dwarf tokens to Snow White that he's got. What's he going to put down here? He's going to put down 2 background there. That'll give him a magic token back, which I think I forgot to spend it, but I'm going to I'll shortcut getting it back. 3 will be this. I have 3 more points left, but before I get to that, I'm going to spend a purple and a white to put down Aladdin, so I can choose any player to take any animation card out of the discard pile. I'll have Snow White grab that inspiration right back, mostly so we can use the prince to keep the calamities at bay as best we can. Then I've got 3 more points of background, which I will use to start working on Abu. So we'll put 2 there. And then I'll use a 1 to put that over to put that middle right for Jasmine. And unfortunately, we can't get rid of the last calamity. So we'll move that up. And then each of us is going to discard 1 card. So that's 1 for Aladdin. And 1 for Snow White. And we'll see what we've got here. We've got focus and a teamwork, which we need focus and grit to place the queen down. We also need all of the 7 dwarf tokens to be out. I know that for a fact. Okay, so background is at level 4. But we are back. We've got Jafar cycling out, and we need 2 new calamities. We've got to keep an eye on our magic tokens this time. We need a focus for Jafar, a grit. Actually, we need 2 grit, so this is going to be a problem. I think Snow White is going to take background at level 4, and she's going to return the genie. So we're both going to take animation at level 3. Looking for, well... Okay, I don't hate that in the slightest. We can deal with that. So taking background at level 4, Snow White will put out her last background, ink and paint level 3, yellow that'll be yellow. So what do we need? We need green and purple. Well, we can get the green easily enough. And I'll take a blue on 2. So I will spend the yellow and the blue to put out Snow White. I can choose another player. Me and that player each take a 7 dwarfs token. So we'll give 1 to Snow White, 1 to Aladdin. And now we've got the option, now that Snow White's background and characters are all placed, now we've got the option to place the queen. But I need to have all the 7 dwarf tokens out. Then I can discard a green, a purple, a grit, and a focus to place the queen out. So that means Snow White's going to be looking for sound, most likely. I do have everything else I need except for... I do have everything I need except for the grit. Okay. So I don't completely hate that. As background level 4, I'm going to discard an inspiration to the prince. I can only do this once per round. I will get rid of one of those calamities, though. So I will get rid of either of these grits. I don't think it really matters which one I get rid of. Back to Aladdin. Does he want to take sound at level 5? I don't even know really that we care too much about Jafar right now. So I think we will actually take animation at level 3. I'll draw 2 cards. Okay, I don't hate that. Okay, so I will discard a grit. I don't have an inspiration, so I can't activate Aladdin's power. I will discard a grit, though, to get rid of this last calamity. Everything will cycle down. And then we will check Jafar. Things are not going well still. And then we've got the Queen coming out. And we need 2 new calamities. That's a red paint and a level 2. Right now, level 2 for snow. Level 2 is background. We do also have an inspiration that I can use to hold that at bay. Ink and paint right now is level 4. So I think... yeah, Snow White can get rid of both of these. And she will use ink and... I think, is she going to use ink and paint? She still needs a grit, though. Huh. She needs a grit, and we're running out of time. Actually, Aladdin needs background to get up there desperately, too. He's probably going to use magic and use that as background this turn. So I think she is going to go ink and paint level 5. Actually, ink and paint level 5. So we'll go 1 for red paint, 3. I've got to make sure I don't take a lot of colors that Aladdin is going to need. And I'm going to let the other 2 float away, which will move that down. I'll slide everything over. Then I'll discard an inspiration to the prince to get rid of that level 2 and a red paint, so Snow White can get rid of both of these calamities. Then moving over to Aladdin, he is going to take... that's Snow White's hand. Aladdin is going to take magic at level... does he want to take it at level 5 or level 6? If for level 5, he's going to take it at level... he's going to take it at level 5. So he's taking background. He is going to... he's taking it at level 5, so he's going to put down his 4 background. That'll give him ink and paint at level 1, which is all he needs to get a wild. Then he's going to spend the red and the purple to put down a boo. That'll let him swap the places of any 2 tiles, which we're going to swap... actually, he needs background to stay, so I think he's going to swap like so, I think. That way Snow White is something. So that way Snow White gets something resembling use out of sound. Then he's still got 1 point of background left, which he'll use that to put his last 1 spot down. That'll give him a magic token. So that's how we're going to do that. We advanced the deadline, but we're all clear. So we've got Jafar, and we've got 2 new calamities. That's a green paint, and that's a can't remove. So we're over to Snow White for the turn. She is definitely not moving background. She's got a heart, though, so I could... let's see, do I have everything I need to put down? No, I don't. So I will take... What do I want to do here? I will take sound at level 4. And I'm going to go... so I've got 4 sound tokens to give out. I think I'm going to give 2 to Snow White and 2 to Aladdin. Okay. Then I'm going to spend a green paint Seems weird that I'm actually spending the normal token with Snow White to get rid of that calamity. Then do I want to activate any of her powers? I will have her discard a... Actually, I could discard a heart, and I think I will, to have Snow White and another player each take a 7 Dwarfs token. Then I'm going to discard a Teamwork, and she's going to choose animation at level 1. I'm hoping to get a... Snow White's going to do animation at 1. I'm hoping she can find a grit so she can put the Queen down right now. She does not. That's not great. And then over to Aladdin, who's got everything he needs to put down Jasmine. With background level 5, he will. Let's see, so background at 5, he's going to put down everything. That'll let him put down Jasmine. Unfortunately, I think we're going to run out of time because we also... So choose another player. You each draw 2 animation cards, then discard 1. So Aladdin will draw first. I think he got the grit that Snow White needed. He will discard a... What do we need to activate her activate powers? We've got to focus. Well, what do we need to place down Jafar? We need red, black, heart, and grit. So I've got the heart and the grit to place down Jafar. Then we need focus, teamwork, and inspiration. We don't have inspiration, but we do have focus and teamwork to activate his powers, although I do need to also discard a card from hand. So those 2 I need to keep. Heart and extra grit are basically dead cards right now for Aladdin. He'll discard a heart. Then Snow White has got to hope she gets a grit here, because we really need to find a way to be able to put these movies down. She gets the grit she needs. Okay. So we will discard an inspiration from Snow White's hand. That's background. So we actually might just squeak this one out. We'll slide everything down. We've got the 1 calamity that we can't remove. So we will discard a magic token after advancing the deadline. And the Queen is coming out. We have... Oh, crap. I just realized, actually... Hold on. Backing up a second. I still have a magic token, but I just realized that if I leave this as is, Aladdin isn't going to be able to place Jafar because he needs the genie on level 5. Because he needs to get the genie to level 5. So I need to be able to discard a focus to activate a Boo. Because he needs sound at level 5. Fortunately, Snow White is going to be able... Actually, he needs... So he needs the focus. He needs to be able to activate... He needs to get sound up to level 5. The question is, how are we going to do that? Because he also needs ink and paint. Let's see, what does he need? He needs a red and a black. Which we can get that if we can get ink and paint up to at least... If we can get ink and paint up to level 3... we can get the red and black paint that we need to place Jafar. We are literally going to be scraping this out by the skin of our teeth. So I am going to discard the focus to activate a Boo's power. I'm just trying to figure out how I make this swap work. Because there are 2 things I need. I need sound to get up to level 5. I need sound to get up to level 5 so Aladdin can put the genie on it. And I need ink and paint to stay fairly high. Question is, do we have the... So the next question is, well, we can place these down. Actually, no, we can't place those yet. The question I need to figure out is, do we have enough... Can we keep ink and paint high enough to be able to get enough paint to place Jafar? Snow White can place the Queen now. She's all set. She's all set with the ability to place the Queen. I need to be able to have Aladdin place down Jafar. And I think the way I do that is... Well, everything's still going to happen regardless of the deadline. So I'm just trying to figure out how I make this work. I think if we go... I think if we swap animation and sound now, we'll do it that way. And actually, I think we're fine, because whether magic or ink and paint is at level 4, essentially they'll function the same way. So I think with that in mind, looking at Snow White's hand, oh, first we got to place out new calamities and cycle the queen in. So our new calamities, I don't think we necessarily care about these. We do need to shuffle, though. I believe that's the end of the turn. If the condition's met, you can place the villain. You can do this at any time during the last step of the turn after sliding action tokens. Okay. Right now, we are at level 12 on the deadline, so we are going to lose the game if we can't put both villains down this turn. But I think we can. So these calamities, can't remove, and a focus. Okay, back over to Snow White. Let's see, Purple Wild. She's got the cards she needs to place down the queen, so I don't think it matters what she does here. She's going to take magic at level 3. She'll just get a magic token. And then this is going to be the end of the turn after we've slid the tiles down. Because all 7 of the 7 dwarf tokens are out, there's nothing to give. She's going to discard a purple, a wild, a focus, and a grit. As you can see here, that's exactly what we need to place down the queen. Now over to Aladdin, who I think we managed to dodge a bullet here. So, yep, we got everything we need there. We need to take... oh, crap, we still can't do it, because I can't take both ink and paint. I can't take both ink and paint and take sound. So, yeah, I think we actually kind of screwed ourselves out of it. So, I'm going to take... yeah. So we would take sound at level 5, put the genie down. Actually, no, I think I would take ink and paint at level 4. Yeah, I totally locked myself out of this. I would take the paint I need, but the problem is I've got 2 calamities, I would have 2 magic tokens, but I just advanced the deadline, so I'm a turn too late, and we've lost the game. That'll do it for this playthrough of Disney Animated by Funko Games. Still a really fun game, really thinky, especially toward the end there, where I was trying to figure out, okay, how can I make this work? And I realized Aladdin couldn't do 2 things at once. So by the time I realized that, I was like, we ended up not getting there. But this is definitely a game you're going to see again on the channel, and I'm surprised how much I've enjoyed this. Hopefully you guys will stop in a little bit later tonight, as Jester and I will be live once again with Group 3 of the Fate of the Elder Gods tournament in Christmas in Arkham. I'll plug everything else coming up after that video. Thank you for watching this video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.